Hello and welcome to KSP Real Solar System. Now, this is not part of the Real Solar System campaign. Instead, I'm having a look at some experimental vehicles and spacecraft in the sandbox mode of KSP today. And more specifically, I'm looking at some rocket sled powered space planes here. Now, a rocket sled typically refers to a big rocket mounted on some kind of track that is used to propel whatever is sitting on top of it. Now, I don't have any tracks in KSP, so I had to go with some wheeled vehicles here, and basically it's just a giant SRB mounted on some big rover wheels, and you can also see it has some wings attached to it. Now, the idea behind a rocket sled, as you might imagine, is to give a spacecraft or a plane or whatever some launch assistance, and that is can be quite useful for any plane or spacecraft that really has trouble getting off the ground or just needs a little bit of kick to get started. And that is definitely the case here, because this space plane has jet engines mounted on it, but those jet engines are ramjets. That means the jet engines need a certain velocity to really start functioning well. I think the ramjets in the KSP Realism Overhaul need something like Mach 0.5 to actually just function, though ideally you want to get about Mach 2 to really get some power out of them. And of course, the higher the velocity, the better the ramjets will work. Of course, this is a space plane, so there is a big rocket mounted on it, and that is a Merlin engine, which is also the type of engine used in the Falcon 9. Now, as you also might have imagined, the rocket sled type of design is not without its flaws, and the main problem with a rocket sled, especially a rocket sled that has to take off, is that it is really difficult to make it take off, and the wheels attached to the rocket sled, for example, are not really designed for these kind of velocities. They're kind of heavy and a bit of a hassle. Now, ideally you want to launch a rocket sled off of a ramp. The problem is that I don't have any ramp, or not an artificial ramp at least, so I had to go looking for a natural ramp, a hill that is, or a mountainside, or anything, basically just a slope. And it turns out that there is a launch site situated in Iran, of all places, that actually is sitting in the middle of a crater, so that fits our specifications perfectly, I think. When I first started designing these rocket sleds, I thought that surely a bigger and more powerful SRB is better, right? Because that will give me extra kick, but as it turns out, a bigger SRB is apparently not always the solution, even though that tends to be the case in KSP. And certainly this giant SRB here I have attached here caused a lot of problems. And one of the problems is that it turns like an oil tanker, so it's almost impossible to get off the launch pad. And it is so heavy that the wheels just keep breaking. The tires can't take the weight of this giant SRB, which is one of the largest SRBs I have available. And I even tried enabling cheats just to see if I could even get this to take off, and yeah, it didn't turn out too well. And that is why I went with a smaller SRB, and you already seen this particular design. Though even this is pretty hard to launch off a natural ramp, because the hills there are obviously quite bumpy and not designed to have rocket sleds launch off of them. And even though I could occasionally get a successful launch off of one of the hills there, it was so damn difficult. And also, I'm not launching in, well, I'm launching in the wrong direction. I want to be launching towards the east, so I can benefit from the rotation of the Earth. But in the end, I went for runway takeoffs. Okay, so I'm going to try a runway takeoff again. see how this works. I'm not too confident because I don't have any kind of ramp to give me a lift, although this does... Yeah, there we go, now we're talking. This is much better. And we can actually, well, at least to some degree, pull the nose down. But, oh, that was a close one. Oh, come on. Yeah, yes, we got control now. Now, we have managed to surpass the most difficult obstacle there, which is the takeoff itself, which is just so damn volatile with that rocket sled. It's completely unwieldy and not very nice to pull off. So I'm going to start the jet engines right now, and we are going to gain some decent altitude here. I'm climbing, and it has a natural tendency to climb. It's got a lot of lift from these wings and the direction of the thrust. So let's see, have a look at the thrust there. The thrust is quite decent at the moment, and it is just climbing higher and higher. So we're getting up to 40 kilonewtons there per engine, and we have 2 of them, of course. So okay, the SRB is about to burn out now, so I'm going to get ready to fire the Merlin engine as well. Yeah, let's do it right now. Now we need to hopefully safely detach the SRB, and let's go for that right now. Yes, there we go. Ooh, finally we have success here. After so many damn trials, and so many damn problems and collisions and all sorts of crap happening, this is going the right way now. So this is starting to get a bit unstable here, so I've got to be careful. Just stay on that velocity indicator, and you can see the ramjet engines are starting to heat up now again, and I'm going to cut them off before they burn out completely and explode. Yep, there we go. Close the air intakes as well, and this is just going to launch as far as you can go. I don't think this is going to orbit, but yeah, it's definitely not, but it's going to get some decent velocity, and hopefully it should get some fairly nice altitude there. Okay, we're gonna run out of fuel any second now, but the velocity is really quite astounding. Got up to orbital, yeah, 5.5 kilometers per second, and that is going to take us, well, almost, well, I think that's Pakistan, isn't it? Or, yeah, Pakistan, India, thereabouts. It didn't go into space here, but we did get some pretty nice altitude and, of course, velocity. So I'm still gonna a couple kilometers per second before we hit orbital velocity. So this is still not capable of achieving that. Right, so I made a slight modification here. I swapped out the rover wheels for some more standard landing gears and positioned them such that the rocket is has an angle to it. Though this might be a little bit extreme because the front wheel is not even touching the ground. Oh well, I'm just going to try it, and I'm going to use both the main engine here and the SRB to start off with. Let's see, this should take off fairly quickly. There we go. We just need to get some stability here. Raise the landing gear, and I can shut off the main rocket engine now. That was just for some stability at the start of the flight, because without that extra power and gimbaling, the rocket would have just taken off into the air, and the lift would have been absolutely uncontrollable. Anyway, I'm going to get ready to fire up the ramjets quite soon now. I think right about now. So I'm going to fire start the Merlin engine now and try to get some more control here. So this is the... I think this is heating up a bit. Oh, come on. Yeah, I forgot it attached. Okay, never mind. That was a bit of a blunder, I guess. And this is quiet. I haven't gained a lot of altitude just yet, so I need to raise the nose there. Or else I'm afraid I'm going to burn up. You can see the ramjets... Oh, kind of maintained control. You can see the ramjets are starting to really heat up now. Oh, and this is not very stable at the moment. Should I gain more altitude? So I'm going to let the ramjet engines just explode. That's a effective way of both shedding weight and shutting them off. At last velocity record we had was 5.5 kilometers per second, I think. And this is going to go higher. Certainly. And we are going to get much better altitude as well. And can we get to 6? Yeah. Oh, almost 6,000 meters per second. So we are getting close to orbital velocities here. So I do think this is completely possible. We do have some extra weight here from the RCS engines that are brought along. And I'm not sure if I want to ditch those. I think that's a... You can see we are headed towards the Himalayas now, and that is not a very nice place to land, I can assure you. So we'll see how this is going to go. Oh, this telemetry unit or avionics package is burnt out. Ooh, yeah, oh, yeah, that's the problem again. The capsule cannot take the heat of the re-entry. At least not if we re-enter head on. So, I probably should do something about that. But I also did have one attempt where I actually did go into space. At least to space-like altitudes. But of course, still, I only got to those kind of altitudes, I think about 300 kilometers. And I got there by choosing a much steeper launch trajectory. But that also meant I couldn't utilize the ramjets for as long as possible, and the overall velocity was much lower than the best attempts that I had before. And so this is still quite some ways away from achieving orbits, and I think this needs to be scaled up if I really want to go for a full orbit here. But that will have to be the topic for another video, I guess, and who knows, maybe this type of design will show up in my KSP Real Solar System campaign series. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, take care, and bye.